Hello, hello. I see you in the chat, Liam. I'm glad you are happy to see me. I'm just 2 seconds of admin in the background because I realised I set things up in such a hurry to go live today because I've just been editing and things all day that I didn't sort everything out properly. So, let's get all of our eggs and baskets and whatnot together. We'll turn off the made for kids rubbish because that's not going to be good on the YouTube either. We don't want that, so bear with me. We don't want to cause too many havocs. I've just spent hours, absolutely hours, aside from editing the first episode of the Supermarine Save, which is going live tomorrow at 5. I have also just been chaotically making a thumbnail for the YouTube that I think is the best thumbnail I've ever made for anything. But then I always think that with stuff that ends up being bad. So we'll find out, I guess. But yeah, I will be live properly in just a tickety-boo. Just making sure I've got all the chattos in front of me, because obviously we're on YouTube and on Twitch. And then I will thoroughly explain what is occurring with the save as things stand. So, excellent, good. Right, let's get ourselves FMing, shall we? So, for those of you who are new to the stream or who are watching the VOD, let me explain the title you're looking at, the episode title you're looking at, which is Our Boss is a Bond Villain. Our chairman is a guy called Nick Blofeld, and he used to own Bath City, but I couldn't resist making a James Bond pun, to be honest, because that's just the kind of person I am. So if you've been on the YouTube or you're on the YouTube VOD, please enjoy the thumbnail that took me several hours to make because I was tweaking it. Harry, that's not terribly constructive as a chat goes. I've just realised it's showing an advert. Showing an advert on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, you're of course not getting an advert. I don't know why I cannot see my stream chat properly. I need to work that out. Why are you not allowing chat? That's a good question. Bear with, I'll be able to see the chat in a second. Hopefully. Good, okay, I can see chat, that's good. And yes, Liam, sorry, I'm having a good day. I can only see it on the back end, not on the screen I'm using to see chat, but that's fine. So, we are at Hemel Hempstead Town. We are going through our pre-season. We were trying to build a squad. I'm going to try and remember what it was that I was doing before we ended the stream last time, because it's been a little while since stuff has happened, and we need to make sure our squad is in the right position. Fair play, Liam. Yeah, there are less ads on YouTube for the chat. It does have to be said, which is nice. So we've had a bunch of players do some things. Let's just get a quick mental overview of what we're looking at. So I was rebuilding the squad. I remember we were rebuilding the squad. Did we have a budget to rebuild the squad with? We do have a little bit of wage budget, but I seem to remember we had no money at all financially, but I could be wrong. We've got a little bit of cash. We've got a little bit of cash to play with. Okay, that will work out nicely. So we'll have a look at what we can do to fill out this squad with some brand new, sparkly, shiny players from our trial list. I'm guessing I put in bids for some of these. I mean, I did put in a bid for him. Kilmas, I guess I screwed up he's accepted a contract offer. Let's see if we can get Will Armitage. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Because Will Armitage is a very good player. I suspect he wants stupid money, though. He does want stupid money. If he'll take less stupid money, I might be willing to pay him 30, just because I know how good a player Will Armitage is. But yeah, how are you, Liam? How's life? Hey, Simon. Yeah, chat is working. The ad breaks. So I gather there is some way I can essentially do like a 3-minute pre-roll of ads before I go live, but I cannot for the life of me figure out exactly how to make that happen. So I'm gonna figure it out. I will figure it out eventually. Uh, I'm still definitely new to this affiliate thing. I think it's safe to say, but you know, we will needs must make things happen. Hello, Kept the Dream Alive. How are you? Welcome to the chat. We are here for a good time, and who knows, maybe a long time. I also got to try and get my brain into the mode of which team I'm managing, because I have spent all day recording and editing the first episode of the Swindon Supermarine save. That's going to go live at 5 o'clock tomorrow on the YouTube. It's a ride. It is a ride, I will say that much. But I had a good time with it, so that's what we need. I'm good, Kep. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to our chaotic cabin of football management. We are on a mission. We have a Bond villain as our boss, but we'll accept that. We'll accept having a Bond villain as a boss, because honestly, I've probably had worse ones. Also, if you're watching this back on the VOD, I should say, if you're expecting me to do something really, really random, like edit in some Hank Scorpio memes, I probably forgot. So let's just go with that. I believe I have the update. It looks like I have the update. Yes, I have a thing that says update completed in my Steam Whatsy Doodle under the hood. Mirtha trial offer for Shevchenko is the weirdest news thing I've ever seen. Finn Toombs is coming into the club. That's great news. We'll take Finn Toombs. He is a solid player and will help our defence out. So that's a good pickup. That's a pickup we'll like. That is a pickup we should be quite pleased with, I would say. So yeah, things are looking up. I think we've still got some pre-season to go, but pre-season could be the best part. We cannot get fired in pre-season, so we take the wins where we can get the wins. That's what we do. Okay, Katie, that's interesting. I don't know how I remind you of Andy Carroll, given that I am not 7 feet tall, Geordie, or in any kind of reasonable athletic shape. We're not going to finish that transfer. If he's not got a work permit, that's a waste of our time. But you know, I'll take it, because Andy Carroll is a great looking guy and way a pet, you know. So thar she blows, right. So pre-season, I will say, it's one of the things I've noticed with the update. So maybe it's just because I've made it so I don't miss any messages. But pre-season feels like it takes longer on FM26 since the update. I don't know if that's just me. Is that Charlie Wellens? No, I was going to say Charlie Wellens going to Chatham would be quite a turn up for the books. I would really like to sign Ronnie Stutter. I really would like to sign Ronnie Stutter. He's such a good striker, but I'm not paying that money for him. That's not going to happen. I'm sure he would score 50 goals for us this year, but I'm not paying him 80 grand a week. So that's not a thing that we're going to see today, to be honest. What we are going to see is we're going to get ourselves to the end of pre-season. We'll have a lovely, relaxing time and a chat. We will get ourselves some goals. We are going to get to the start of the league season and at least play one league game. Maybe more. It depends on how quickly we get there and obviously what the time's looking like and all that other good stuff. We've got another centre-half. Good stuff. That's what dreams are made of. We will have a defence by the start of the season. which is pretty good because we were in danger of not having a defence. Why have you just put my new signings in? You've put Finn Toombs in the reserves. What are you doing? Why would I want Finn Toombs in the reserves? And why would I want Kjetilhoff was down there just because he wasn't going to develop, wasn't he? Same with Tommy Everett. But Finn Toombs has been signed for the first team, and the first team is where he will be. Can we talk about some practical and pragmatic and private stuff? I mean, I'm not sure if a live stream on the internet is a place to talk about private stuff, but you know, tell me your deepest dreams, and we'll see what we can make happen. I suppose it's is the answer to that question, because I don't know what else to tell you, if I'm completely honest. So, anyway, Simon, how are you? Sorry, I spaced. I completely spaced for a second. My brain was my brain had bandwidth being taken up by whatever it was that Katie was on about. I do hope you're well. There's a Harry in there somewhere as well, I think, hanging out. Hi to you as well. Welcome all. Welcome all indeed. There are also some rewards that I saw us up. I have pets. No, I don't have pets, and I do shave. Yes, like regular people shave, I suppose. Those are not necessarily the most private or pressing questions I've ever been asked, but we'll take it. I wish I had pets, but unfortunately the place I live doesn't allow pets. So, won't even let me have a goldfish. Absolute savages. Don't know what they think they're doing, but you know, we'll make the best of it. I don't know why it doesn't have a background when it's doing thinking sometimes. That's always a wonder. But a wonder that we will cope with, because we have got some reasonable prospects, I think, of a good time today. Jared Myers is signing for us. That would Corley Woodrow signed for Colchester. That's a wild. That's an FM transfer, if ever I've seen one. Not as wild as a player signing for Oxford Sunnyside, who are in Northern Ireland. Sure, they used to be called Oxford United Northern Ireland or something stupid, which was a dirty name. Do you consider yourself a good person to be a king? I don't consider myself to be a king. That would be odd. It's very much a title you have to be born into. But you know, it's a question. It's a question that was asked of me, so it's a question I will answer, I suppose. That's what I will say. Right, we've got players flying in. I put in a load of bids at the end of the last stream and then just ended up bailing because I was tired, didn't I? That's what happened. I think I've assessed what's happening, what our situation is with the stream today, is that I put in a bunch of bids, I got tired, we ended the stream and raided someone else, and now I'm paying the price because I've got players coming in I forgot I was signing, which I would never do outside of a stream because I like to make sure the business is done. It is an interesting question, Leo. I'm not sure I fully grasped it, but you know, I do my best. I do my best. It wants me to set a pitch size. Our players are, I suppose. Let's get rid of the trialists for a second. Our players are not the quickest. Even with the loanees, they're not the quickest. So I don't want to have a big pitch, I would say. Let's do a little bit of a, what staminas have we got in us? I think I want to keep this pitch approximately as small as possible based on what I'm seeing there. I think that's probably what we're going to do here, is we'll have the minimum pitch allowed, and we'll go with that because that will save some legs. That's what we're going to look for. That's my plan for making the best of this pitch / team situation. Baba Sané has joined, another centre half. Good stuff. Players flying in thick, fast, and frequently, which we'd like to see. Especially because I would like us to be at least pressing for promotion this year. He's a good player. He's a good. I hate that it makes me check my under 18s all the time to see if new signings like Josh Cappin has ended up in there somehow. He's one of the better players in the team. Same with Charlie Pavey. Two of the better players in my team have somehow ended up in my reserves, and I don't know why. David Glover might make it into our first team at some point this season, but not immediately. But we're going to be fine. I mean, with the team we've got, Josh Cappin should rip this league apart. Jared Myers should be able to do a fair bit of business for us. Shea Cahill should be a weapon as well, an absolute weapon of a footballer. So we've got the options there in the box to be able to build something. Which is sort of what I was looking for, to be completely honest. Sort of. But these friendlies are definitely helping bring some money in. Quinn Shutter, a fullback. We're going to have a back four. Well, we might have a back five. That could be a quandary. I mean, I need to teach him probably to play as a left wing back once he's fully confirmed, because I feel like we're using wing backs more than we are using fullbacks, I would say, but it's always nice to have players that can do both. Yeah, definitely fair play to SI for doing some updates. I don't know if I've seen anything that in this update so far that has improved the game that I've noticed, but that doesn't mean that I've fully explored it either. It has to be said. So pinch of salt with that one. Yeah, sorry, just having a look at the behind the Watsy Doodles. There we go. Right, so we are going to have. I don't know if we're going to have any more players coming in. What's our wage situation? We've still got a few grand. What have we got in terms of actual transfer activity? Nothing active. Okay, so I've got about, quick maths, I've got about 200 grand a year to spend on wage. Just check that. Check my maths. Always check my maths. Wage budget. Adjust wage budget. We're spending 354, 570. So £220,000 is a decent amount of money to spend. I don't know necessarily where we need backup at this point. Centre half, we look like we're largely covered. Finn Toombs didn't come out as good as I'd hoped. But do I want Gabba El Mohammadi in there? I probably do. If he's going to come for approximately what he's earning now, which he's not. Let's see if he'll take 30. I know it's probably overpaying him a little bit, but if I can get him to take 30, I'll be reasonably pleased with that, I would say. It feels like the right... Just before I go any further, he's going to need a work permit. And I don't want to do that. Katie, that's... really odd. It makes me question why I use the internet. I'll be honest. I'm sure you're lovely, but that makes me want to never use the internet again. Exactly, Liam. This is not a dating app, and also I don't really need to be starting the Lamely family because I already have 2 kids. So I already started the family, Katie. Fair play, Simon. Well done. Yeah, the family's already been started, so I'm not even started. Like, my daughter's 19. It's well beyond started. if anything, I would argue it's finished. To be completely honest with you, I'd argue the family was probably finished at this point. I'm certainly not in a hurry to have any more kids. It would have to be a very happy accident with at least one of my favourite actresses involved for that to be a thing. And even then, I don't know if I could be bothered. Kit, welcome to chat. You think you were a Bond villain? You think you are a Bond villain now? Why so? Tell me why you believe yourself to be a Bond villain. You'll be a nice distraction from whatever I just went through on the YouTube chat, which was wild, crazy stuff. That's a lot of money for Harrison Duchak, and it would put us well over our wage budget, but it's hard to argue he wouldn't be an improvement on our squad. It's really hard to argue he wouldn't be a massive improvement on our squad, so I think we'll go with that. More like a hero's card, yes. I'm knifing people on this game and putting did you know facts in chat each time. Kit, I'm gonna have to ask for context. Is this something to do with the Pokemon thing that came up the other night? Not that I can imagine Pokemon knifing people, but I'm really trying to understand what's occurring. I know I'm going to massively overspend here, but I feel like I can solve the my brain is saying we can solve the financial problems long term. Go on, Kit, explain to me in chat. Explain to me what is occurring with you knifing people on this game somehow, because I feel like all of chat at this stage on both platforms would like some context to understand where your serial killer arc started. I don't know if I have picked the right horse there, because Brandon Pierrick's going to be less money, isn't he? I think we're going to try and give him 490, knowing he's probably going to be a backup all season, and just kind of take the gamble. I think that's the play here. There we go. Oh, you're running down on COD with just... Okay. Okay, right. I am caught up. I completely forgot you've been playing COD. My brain just went, what? Why knife, please? Why knife, please? I want him because he's quick. I still want Elijah Briscoe. I know he's got absolutely no determination, but I still want Elijah Briscoe. The next town game I'm going to, Liam, is going to be the Bolton game. That's my next appearance at the county ground, live and in person. Going to go and watch us absolutely smash Bolton and make our way into the third round of the FA Cup, where I am predicting, and when I say predicting, I mean hoping for, and when I say hoping for, I mean we're going to get absolutely tanked if it happens. But I would like for us to beat Bolton and then get Everton away in the third round. That's what I want, because I really, A, want to go and visit their new stadium, and I also want to go and meet Limo for a drink, because if you've not been with me on a raid to Limo, Limo's a great lad. He's an Everton fan. He's at almost every Everton game. Absolute top boy, and I reckon he'd be good value to have a couple of pints with, and I say have a couple of pints like I drink, but he'd be good value to spend a bit of pre-game with, So that's my hope is I go to watch us play Bolton, we beat Bolton, and then we can all go hang out in the Scouse house. That's what I'm saying. Plus, to be honest, that new Everton stadium looks incredible. I just want to visit it. It just looked brilliant. It looks like a really good day out, and why not go for it? It is an awful name. I'm not sure I'm a fan of Hill Dickinson Stadium. I think it's slightly better than just calling it Bramley Moor Docks, because that was a bit generic. But I do think with modern football we have to look at the positives. Hill Dickinson as a name for a stadium is a better name than if they'd called it the Chav Bet Stadium or whatever. At least it's not got a betting firm name attached to it. It's not the Sports Direct Arena. It's not friggin' Reform Stadium or whatever other stupid crap people come up with. It's, it sounds like, it is named after a person, but it sounds like it's named after someone important to the club. So at least it's not one of those stupid corporate sponsor names. Like, I was not the biggest fan. I'd love to see how Liam feels about this in chat, actually. I wasn't the biggest fan of the county ground becoming the Nigel Eady county ground. But Nigel Eady, who was a lifelong Swindon fan, was a massive financial benefactor of the club. So I feel better, even though it's a change from what I'm used to, I feel much better about that than I would feel about it being some random gambling firm or some other stupid nonsense. At least it's not the I shouldn't say this. At least it's not the Imagine Cruising Stadium, like Supermarine playing. That irked me. Oh, you're going to be in the Arc? I'm going to be in the Arkles for the Bolton game, Liam. That is. I will also be in the Arkles. I am. Hang on, we're side questing. Apologies, chat. We are side questing. Bear with me. Let me do a quick side quest with Liam, and we'll be back. Bear with. So for El Bolton game, bear with me because that's going to make me change it. I am going to be in, I believe, the A4 upper. I believe I'm in A4 or A5 upper for the Bolton game, is where I'll be found hanging out. So there you go. That's a bit of a fun time for us all. If I'm in the Arkles, I'm usually an A4 or A5, to be honest. I used to sit in the Don, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Don nowadays. It feels like it's got too many people in it who really want to be like Italian ultras. It's really odd, like people who think they're crazy super fans because they hold up stupid bits of coloured card. Oh, you're in the middle. Which block are you in? And presumably we'll be quite close to each other, to be honest. But that's a good time. We can grab a drink or something before the game, and well, you might even get lucky, and you might even meet Father Lamely, for he is with me and is occasionally sociable, depending on the scoreline. Actually, to be fair, a lot of my family sit in the Arkles every week. My aunt and my cousins tend to sit up there as well. So yes, it will be an extended Lamely affair. I feel like are signing too many players. I think we're signing too many players, but I say that with the caveat that, like, so Stan Flaherty, yes, he's 24. Yes, he's 24. And yes, you look at him and there's only a handful of yellow stats there, and he looks like he's not the greatest player in the world or whatever. But he's played for Arsenal, he's played for Newcastle, he's played for QPR. He was like one of the highest rated prospects on like FM23, 22 maybe. And I think there's probably a little bit of potential left in him. So if he becomes one of those late developers they put in the game, I think we've just signed an absolute banger of a footballer. I think I'll have a look at our wage budget in a second, but I think that's probably our business done, unless I've got... How have I still got $3,000 left? That's because these guys haven't confirmed. Once these guys are confirmed, I think that's going to be our business done, because I think we'll have just top quality players in every area. A3 upper. Yeah, so you're in the block next to me. You're just town end side above the Legends. Excellent. There you go. That's solid. So if you see me walking around, come and say hello. I usually arrive at the county pub about 2:15 and then have one and go to the ground. That's usually my thing. Failing that, I might go in the Legends depending how busy it looks, but you know, unfortunately you can't have a cigarette in the Legends, so it does knock a couple of points off it for me. Does knock a couple of points off it for me as a pre-game bar. Also, I was walking past the other night, past the county grounds. I came back from Supermarine because I made a little stop at Tesco on the way back, as one does, and I discovered there's a nightclub upstairs at the county ground that I never had any... I've been going to the county ground now since 1988, and I've just discovered there is a nightclub in the North Stand. Did not know it was there. No idea. Never knew it was there. It's crazy. So there's a thing. The last town game I went to, I think, was actually... This is terrible. I think was Colchester in January. I've not been this season. I think it was Colchester back in January or February. It's been a while since I've been down there. Yeah, you know where the players' entrance is? There's an office sort of looking entrance door to the stadium next to it. And yeah, there was nightclubby music going. There were bouncers on the doors. I assume either there was a nightclub up there or they're having some kind of Christmas party or whatever. It was really weird. It was a wild thing to discover happening. Few of the lads were around. I saw Marcus Bignot having a wander outside on his phone. Didn't chat to him, but I see him around the ground all the time when I walk past, so I presume he's moved in. Fair play to the boy, dedicated to the job, dedicated to the town, ready to keep us going up is what we need to see, because we will be massive. That's what we do. Right, we are just watching things tick by. That's we've just lost our pre-season, by the way. Our pre-season is going to be horrendous for morale because we've just been tanked by everyone except Barnsley. But I'm just desperately trying to get some cash into the club. I might try and squeeze in another friendly after Southend, actually, and just smash someone nearby. Sport London Benfica, you can be my victims. Otherwise, our morale is just going to be absolutely down the Swanee. That's okay, Katie. Just let's maybe not try and persuade me I'm starting a family. That's odd. Pretty sure my kids would be really angry if I had any more kids. Anyway, to be honest, I had to have a conversation not so long about the relationship I was in with someone. I had the conversation with my daughter, the good parent conversation, and she just goes, "As long as I don't end up babysitting, I don't care," which was great. Good. You know, so that was nice. I thought I'd offered Ben Wodgsko a contract. I have offered Ben. Why are you recommending I offer people contracts I've already offered contracts to? That seems like a waste of advice. Seems like wasted advice. But we are going to play Swansea. We are going to beat Swansea. You watch Swansea in the friendly. It's going to be a win. We're going to get the win. And we're going to get the win over Bristol City because they're a small club. A small club of incesty things. Jojo Wallacott signing for Scunthorpe apparently is happening in the background. That's interesting. Checkers joined. We put in a contract offer for this fella and he's gone to join Wolves. What? I mean, he had offers from Famalicão as well, which is crazy. That guy was wanted by clubs in Portugal's top flight. He's signed for Braintree. It looks like we've missed out on a couple of targets. But to be fair, I was also about to go massively over our wage budget. So that might work out for us. Elijah Briscoe is the next one I'd like to see come in the door. Swansea are going to put in a bid for Elijah Briscoe, aren't they? That's going to happen. Swansea are going to... I've had him on trial this whole time, and Swansea are going to put in a bid for him after they see him play for us. That would be just my luck. Just my luck. I feel like I'm sitting super low on screen today. I don't know why. Hang on, let me... That might be better. Elijah Briscoe came in while I was doing that. That made it worth doing. That made it worth doing. Good. So. Hopefully I'm more upright now. We'll see how that goes. It looks like I'm a bit more upright on camera now. Good, that's great. That's good stuff. Right. So, now I'm not slouching. Let's just have a little check of what we've got budget. We're still £2,000 in the budget. And I feel like I should spend it, but I don't think we actually need any more players. Let's just have a quick kind of mental sort out. So, let's stick Pipakonu in the under 18s for now. Just let him have some development time down there. Just so I can see clearly what's happening here. Scriven isn't quite ready yet. So I guess we can drop him down to the 18s for now. We'll use these 6 guys as our primary centre halves. Although I would like Jack Bateson to move on, if at all possible. And Darian Dowrich, nice if he would move on as well. Left backs we are covered with Golding and Van Seer, so that's okay. And with Quinn Shooter and Marley, Raymond, Dawkins, we've arguably got too many left backs. I need to get these guys learning actually to be. Let's do it the shorthand way. I need these guys to be learning to be left wing backs. That's going to be really, really important for our team this year as well. So we'll get you both learning to be left wing backs. That way you can hopefully contribute a bit more. We'll make Quinn Shooter learn it as well because that feels like a good idea. Having that happening, Watara is going to have to learn to play right wing back as well. Do feel like I probably need to find some more players who can play as wing backs. Like I might need a right wing back. We're massively overloaded for wingers. Kazungu can go down to the 18s. That's going to be a thing. I think we just need a left winger and a right wing back. Possibly a whole... Have I neglected midfield a little bit? Possibly. Possibly. Okay. Let's do some requirements. So, I'm going to say I would like a right wing back. That would be good. I'm going to say that I would like a defensive midfielder. I'm going to say I'd like a left winger. And I think that would be okay. I mean, there's no reason not to, Liam. Do a Supermarine. I'm not sure. I can't comment how difficult it would be to make them better than Town, because I am one game into that save so far. And it feels like there's a way to go for me, but we'll get there. Oh, Elijah Briscoe, such a player. I know I've been focusing primarily on pace and determination. His determination is rubbish. It's not great. He's not going to develop of his own accord without playing. But these physicals are dirty. Yes, he can't jump, but he's 5'10". But he can finish. Anticipation's good. He's good off the ball. To be fair, Simon, everything is better than the town of Swindon. There are people who live in Swindon, and I would say that I'm not far off of joining them on this list, who would happily claim asylum in Pyongyang. It's horrendous. Swindon used to be a really nice town back in the day, like when I was a kid. And nowadays it's just filthy and dirty and grim, and there's litter everywhere. Like the bins just don't get collected. Most of the shops are boarded up, and the ones that aren't boarded up are fronts for money laundering things. And it's like you could stand an alien who'd never been to this planet before in the middle of Swindon town centre, and they could tell you everything that's gone wrong with this country politically in the last 30 years within 30 seconds. It's so deprived and so grim. Like, we've got a shopping centre that only has, like, it's got units for about 50 shops, and it has about 12 in it. And then at the other end of the town centre, we've got this massive shopping complex that was only built like 10 years ago on the site of the old college, that used to be home to like a cinema and a supermarket and restaurants and all sorts of stuff, and literally the only thing left in it now is a Nando's. It's mad. See, I think Stratton's better than the town centre, personally. I think Stratton's probably in a better shape than the town centre. But then I also think that Penn Hill's in a better shape than the town centre, to be honest. So, you know, you take what you can get. Although apparently the co-op in Penn Hill has been robbed at like knife point 4 or 5 times this year already, which is objectively mental. We have had a no-win. Oh, we had a 1-win pre-season. That's not great. That's not ideal. It's not the one for us. We will hopefully get a smashing going against London Benfica. I am in the middle of Swindon, Katie. I'm not going to be more specific than that, but I am in the middle of Swindon. That is where I am. I am suffering. It's an experience, is what I will say. Okay, right. We've got to, if we don't smash Sport London Benfica, I'm rethinking our entire plan for the season in 6 days. That's what I've got to do. But our first game of the season is also coming up, which is nice. Our first proper game of the season. I'm hoping we'll start the proper season off with a win. That would be ideal. I still don't really know. So we're playing Merthyr on the opening day of the season, which is great. Good times. Let's have a look and see if those transfer room things did anything for us. Oh, we've got offers for players. Okay. TJ Bramble. That's Titus Bramble's son, isn't it? I'm sure that's Titus Bramble's son. Any hints there? nothing big there. Oh, Katie, my deepest sympathies. Living in Slough is not the one. No offense, obviously, to Slough, but I couldn't do it. I would like to see more. Will you let me trial him? If you'll let me trial him, I'll take a proper look at TJ Bramble. But I don't know if he's a star for us. Ben Chapman, rated B minus. That lad can play absolutely everywhere. That alone is enough to make me bring him in on a contract. He's played for Ebbsfleet forever. Do you know what? I think if we can get him cheap enough, I mean, if he'll take 490, I would be surprised if he was playing every week anyway. And at least we've got a guy that can cover every position. I can shove that fella on the bench, and I think he'll be perfectly fine for us. Who have we got here? Kwaku Frimpong, a Welshman. It's good determination. Pace is probably on the wrong side of where I want, but do you know what? We'll give him a contract as well. 21 a year is not bad. If I can get him down to 16, or close to 16, I think that'd be good. So we'll take 18. That's 18's a good. That's a good contract for that guy. What else have we got here? Toby Joseph playing for Hendon. Photographer's done a terrible job with that headshot. Absolutely awful job with the lighting on that headshot. Genuinely poor. Really poor. Wouldn't have allowed it to be published. That's a much better picture. He can come in on trial. I'm not convinced he is going to be the one, but we'll have a look at him on trial. Luke Griffiths could be good. 5'3" though. We'll offer him a trial and we'll see what he's saying, and then we'll have a look at the left wingers as well. Connor Lawless, what a name! Wanted by Glassis United. He's a handsome young fella. Actually not an awful player for this level. What are you asking for? Oh, you want important player, you're going to be asking for silly money, aren't you? That's going to be what happens here. Oh, let's try and talk him into 25. If we can talk him into 25 or thereabouts, we'll take him. Will you take 28? There you go. Happy days. That's one more player in the bag. And then apparently this guy, Philemon Frosinis, who is Greek, plays for Trikala, is a good player. Harvey Walker can play everywhere though. Oh, that's going to be 50-50. I've got no transfer money, so determination 1. That wasn't going to happen. When's the last time I got wasted? The last time I got wasted, Harry, which will tell you a lot about me, was on April the 30th, 2012 was the last time I got wasted. So it's been a while. It has been quite a while since I last got wasted. That's very true, Simon. Harry was in here chatting wasted. It was while we were zomboiding, wasn't it? It was that was an experience. I'm not gonna make an offer for you without seeing how good you are, TJ. That's not gonna happen. Like, I've got a scouting report that tells me you've got some ability, but to be fair, fairly selfish isn't helping his cause either. That's not helping his cause in any way, shape, or form. Let's plough forward. We have got to play that first big friendly. We've got A question from the non-league papers, Danny Jackson. He wants to know, with Harvey Walker joining the club on trial, many people want to know what the chances are of him owning a permanent stay at the Focus Community Arena. Right, chat. Have a guess if you can see what we're going to say. We're going to say the same thing everyone always says when they ask this question that shouldn't even be in the game anymore because it's bloody stupid. That's the entire point of taking him on trial. We don't know yet. Ask a stupid question, get a stupid answer. I will quite happily mug that guy off. This guy he looks like he could have some good player potential there, but this guy, I do find the further I get into a transfer window, the more my standards slip of what I'll accept on a player, but I try not to let that be the case. My hair is long because I haven't had it cut in years, is the simple answer to that one, Harry. My hair is long because it's long. I'm tempted to keep captains there. I know, because like Pippa Conu is not going to play anyway. So we'll make Shay Cahill first backup, and then we'll make Harry Thomas second backup captain, put Charlie Rowan down as third, and that will cover us for captains for the year, so we'll just keep it as it is. That'll do for now. Bless your heart, Harry. Men are allowed to have long hair as well. It's 2025. I cannot believe Christian Shevchenko has just signed for St Albans City. That's wild. I think he's got a brother as well. Why is that? I can clearly see there's another Shevchenko. It's right there. Why aren't you showing me that one? Is it because I spelled his name wrong? It is. It is. Thank you, Simon. There was definitely another Shevchenko. I know I saw another Shevchenko playing somewhere. Obviously, these two are regens. I could have sworn Andrei Shevchenko had two sons at Watford. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm old. It happens. Match preparation for Sport London Benfica. Predictions in chat. What's the final? We're not going to play it out. Come on, some predictions in chat. What are we going to do to Sporting London Benfica, who are in? They're in a league so far down the pyramid that I can't see it. What do we think? At the moment we've got I think 5-3-2 going. A 5-2-2-1 or 5-2-3 going on the counter attack. This is what we've got set up at the moment. But I'll have a tinker with it before we get to the game, because obviously I've signed a bunch of players since I've done tactics. Harry's saying 2-0 in the friendly. Anyone else want to put any predictions in chat before we go through this final friendly? I think we're going to go for 5+. I think we can put 5+ past Sporting London Benfica. That's what I'm going to say. I'd be 3-0. 3-0 is not bad. A 2-1 was not a bad prediction. So you guys were closer than I was. 3-0 though is perfectly acceptable. Torn hamstring for Josh Cappin. I'm not going to promise him any playing time. He could come back and be absolutely bobbins. It's not out of the realms of possibility. Right, let's just have a quick look at our team now and see tactically what makes sense. I think I think we stick with 5 at the back. I say that aware we don't have a proper right wing back at the moment. But I think we stick with 5 at the back for now. And then we try and work everyone else in. But I am just thinking, because I'd like to accommodate Shay Cahill a bit more. And it's wild because I think he's a better winger than he is a centre mid. Let's get him on a training regime to get him practicing playing as a left winger. Just because, realistically, he offers more to the team there. And then we're going to play Merthyr in 5 days. We'll have a look at the season preview, see what the season preview is saying for us. Because it will have updated with all those new signings. So, season preview says we are going to finish in 11th. And Merthyr are going to finish in 15th. And the Media Dream 11 has not one of our players in it. In fact, most of the players in there are from South Shields. So I don't understand how Filed are odds on to get promoted. Yeah, I would say 11th is the minimum with this team as well, Kit. Although fun pre-match law drop. I've mentioned this on the channel a few times before, but I used to play for File back when they were still Kirkham and Wesham, years and years and years and years ago, when they were still in the North West Counties Premier League. And South Shields was very near to where I lived when I was at uni, which is also odd. Few teams here I've got a little bit of history with. I know, Kit. Law drop plus revealing my age. Great combo. Yeah, when they were still Kirkham and Wesham, many moons ago, I was playing for what is now AFC Filed. I was actually there when their current chairman came in, and he's a dick. Absolute dick of an owner. No time for that bloke whatsoever. Even before the reports of him abusing the staff and all of his job postings and things came up, such a prick from day one. So when I was playing for them, I was playing for them when he came in, and I was playing essentially in the 10 for them the season before, and I got about 35 goals in 28 games, and this new guy here was like, we're going to start paying the players, and it's going to be this big. I was like, oh, cool, I'm going to get extra payday, a few quid in the pocket every weekend. And then he brought over 2 Australian strikers, and we found out he was paying them 500 quid a week. It was mental. Absolutely, and this is what, the 10th or 11th tier of English football? Absolutely ridiculous stuff. But anyway, so I had a little bit of a falling out with him because he didn't appreciate that I'd scored loads of goals. Brought in these 2 guys that he was paying £1,000 a week combined, and they got about 12 goals between them the following season, and I nearly pissed myself laughing, but I'd moved on by then, so their loss. But yeah, he's always been terrible at the ownership. When he came, I was like, we're going to be in the Football League by 2012. I think I laughed so hard from where I was sitting, he may have heard it, and I was at home. So there you go. There's a law drop for the day. Back in the a story from the good old days that I'm sure Kit will enjoy. Yeah, it was a wild time. The fact they're in the National League North now, to be honest, shocks me because that fella's completely incompetent. He's just got money. There's no brains behind the money. He's just got money. So there you go. There's a lovely story. One day when I write the actual, yeah, almost, Kit. It's almost like I know why you're here. But yeah, there's one for the actual autobiography, not just the regular old-fashioned book. That's coming out. In fact, I'm supposed to get the contract tomorrow. That's good. Let's see what a quick pick gives us for our team for Merthyr, shall we? I actually don't hate that team. That's probably, give or take, the team I had in my head. The bench is not what I had in my head. First of all, we can get the goalkeeper off. That's just dirty. We don't need a goalkeeper on our bench. Also, we can get the goalkeeper off. It's a little bit dirty. Nobody clipped that. Nobody clipped me saying we can just get the goalkeeper off. That's not going to happen. Oh, our friend the bot, Streamboo. Honestly, my thing with Streamboo isn't the bots, and like the bots are terrible. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not a fan of bots, and I'm never going to encourage or want bots on the Twitch. But my thing with bots is that Streamboo honestly sounds like some kind of prostitution Netflix, like your Netflix subscriptioning a girlfriend or something. It's a really odd name for a streaming service. I don't like, I know it's probably one of those weird little scammy companies, but you also have to have it in your head that like actual human beings sat down, had a conversation, went, Streamboo would be a good idea for what we're calling our thing. Wild. I didn't see those star ratings at all. I was trying to compare two players and I didn't look at them at all. I think Harry Thomas has got to be the centre half on the bench. I was just thinking I've got to put a defensive mid on that bench, otherwise we're in trouble. We'll put Flanagan on there. He can do it all. Okay, good. So that'll be our team for today. You are absolutely right, Ferd. A girl you can video call with and she'll pretend to be your girlfriend. To be fair, if the money was right, I'd do that. I think that'd be fantastic. It's good improv training. Yeah, that is true. We recently had, I say recently, it was like yesterday, a stabbing where a 13-year-old girl stabbed a woman inside her house in Swindon. And somehow that probably wasn't the worst crime that had happened in Swindon that day. I like that team. I think keep an eye on Elijah Briscoe. I'm going to say he's going to score today. We're going to give some squad numbers out. Nothing, I was going to say nothing there bothers me, but it does bother me that I've got a left winger wearing number 8. I'm sorry, I can't accept that. That's not okay. Everything else will do. No, it won't, because we're going to put Franklin Domi at number 15. Never let anyone tell you I'm not autistic. Right, we're not going to start the games just yet because they are on ads. If you're on YouTube, sorry, wait till they've got out of ads. They should be more or less out of ads. There we go. Twitch is out of ads as far as I can tell, so that's good. That was solid timing. I'm glad I didn't click start game. That would have been awkward. I'm guessing that means we've just crossed the hour mark on the stream. I will try and fix the ads thing. That's my next mission, is to try and fix how the ads work. And indeed, Liam, come on you Reds, is what we're going to say as we send out Hemel for the first time against Merthyr. It's a classic England versus Wales derby. I'm trying to picture in my head where Merthyr is. They're not far off the M4, are they? Hemel versus Merthyr. Right, I want to be impressed today. Let's go put on a show. Lovely reactions. There we go. Jack Bateson woke up. Chucks Coley woke up. And nobody else woke up, which has gone well. So, let's get this one underway. Merthyr Town are lining up in exactly the same... Oh no, they're lining up in the slightly more attacking version of the formation we're using, which is fine. But both teams have got... You had a fun fact you were sending for this. Go on, Kit. Send me your fun fact about Merthyr Town. I bet it's that they're called the Exiles because they used to play in Gloucester. That's what I'm betting. You know, football teams wearing red kits play better. The colour of your clothes can affect how you're perceived by others and change how you feel. A review of football matches in the last 55 years, for example, showed that teams wearing a red kit consistently play better in home matches than teams in any other colour. That's a wonderful stat. And I'd love to see that research, purely because I've been watching Swindon Town for 40 years and we very distinctly wear red at home. And we're absolutely shocking at home half the time. So most of my life we've been shocking at home. So maybe it's a specific like shade or gradient of red you have to be wearing. But also, I suppose it makes sense. You look at Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Benfica, Ajax. I can see it. Aberdeen, maybe, occasionally, in their history have been good. Also, since I mentioned Aberdeen, fun footballing stat for you guys. At the moment, last I checked, Hearts are sitting top of the SPL. If they win the SPL this season, they'll be the first team from outside of Glasgow to win it in 40 years, and the first team from Edinburgh to win the Scottish League in 60 years, which is the longest time any country has ever gone without a side from the capital winning their national league. With an asterisk. There is a small asterisk up to that, because technically no Berlin team has won the Bundesliga, but there were a couple of really successful Berlin teams in the old East German league. So with an asterisk. But there you go, there's a fun fact. There is a fun fact for you for your day. What on earth was that? What did I just see? I know it got disallowed, but what did I just see? Tell Shay Cahill to shoot less often. I don't think I will. I think Shay Cahill can keep shooting because he must. We've got a penalty! Oh my word. It's time. It's time for me to deploy premium penalty stratting. First of all, I'll tick those. And second of all, we need some premium penalty stratting. Zach Braverman, our goalkeeper. He's going to score it. He's going to score our penalty. Kit saw it. Kit saw it. Kit knew it was coming. Kit knew there was going to be a goalkeeper taking a penalty. It is the rules. He'll miss now and we'll draw or we'll lose. But it is the rules. He absolutely did as well. Absolutely clowned it off the woodwork. But at least we didn't concede. Right. Coley to Domi. Over the top. That's gone nowhere. It's going to be sub time. Absolutely clowned it, but that's okay. Some things you have to do for the memes. Ben Chapman is not having a good day. Aldridge can go on there. Frimpong can be replaced by Flanagan. Domi can get replaced by O'Sullivan. Cahill can come off for Lucy Lawless. And I think Mullins needs to come off. I'm not going to take off Briscoe because I feel like he can score. I'd rather have the nervous defender off the pitch. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We're going to get goals. They're going to happen. There will be a goal in this game. I am aware we're playing on cautious. But there will be a goal. There you go. Shooters put the ball forward. Lawless is there. Lucy Lawless into the box. Gets brought down. And that's gone badly. And now we've got to try and win it back. Yeah, Kit. It doesn't. Oh, we've just conceded. That's not how you spell Lewis. Behave yourself. That's a tragedy. Yeah, it seems to me like penalties are broken in FM26 still because I've had in what was Bateson thinking there. I had a penalty shootout offline the other day. The first 8 penalties were all missed. Now I've played at several levels of football, and I've never been involved in a penalty shootout where the first 8 were misses. That's never happened in my life to me. Liam, still not as bad as Harry McCurdy penalty in that playoff final. Please don't remind me. I still have flashbacks. Uh, right, Simon, thank you for being here. Enjoy, I say enjoy work, but try and have a good day at work tomorrow. We will see you very soon. Um, we will be launching the Hometown to Hero series for you tomorrow. That'll be up at 5, ready for when you get in from work. And I will probably be at the Supermarine game whilst you're watching it, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. But yeah, we'll see you very, very soon. Okay, so we've started our season with a loss to a guy whose name wasn't spelt properly, largely possibly because I had a goalkeeper take a penalty. Night, Simon, and yeah, working from home makes that all the better. You will see it at 5. It is a cracker. It's definitely better than this episode's been. I will say that much for sure. It's definitely better than this episode has been. I'm still not doing press conferences. I refuse. I just refuse. There's just nothing happening. Just nothing happening in them. And I do feel like we have to start winning games because we do have a Bond villain as an owner, and that's really the headline of the episode, is that we've got a Bond villain as an owner. And I feel a little bit like we probably need to appease him. Lawless to be I feel like I unveiled him when I took him off the bench, but sure. Welcome to the club. I'm not risking the future. Outstanding players, quality, find his place, knows 1 or 2 players, shows off our intent, quality player, blah blah blah, good stuff. Right. Speed run the press conference. Ooh, hiccups. Good. Always helpful when you're streaming to get the hiccups. We're going to be okay. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Sorry, bear with me. I'm in the back end again. Again, please nobody clip that. Please nobody click that. I'll clip that. Katie, you've already said that shortly before you propositioned me for children. It's quite weird. It's quite weird. Okay, let's Denore facing uncertain future at Millwall. And we have sold 200 season tickets. We're rolling in it. I should check the financials actually, just to make sure we are on course. Okay. We were definitely on course to make a profit before. I remember us being on course to make a profit. I don't know what's gone wrong there. We still within our wage budget? We are. Okay, good. We're not going to spend any more money on players. Huh. Kit. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that was a half for the money thing or if that was a half for Katie trying to tell me I look like Andy Carroll. I don't understand. Well, I applied for that job like 3 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago. I applied for that job ages ago. I don't even remember when I applied for that job, but it was long enough ago that they should have hired someone by now. Oh, I don't know what else you heard. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on. It's absolutely fine. Right, we've got a game coming up in the near future. That's going to be a thing. Today, we're playing Darlington. Darlaw. We're playing Darlaw, who are second in the league. When I say Darlaw, they're New Darlaw. New Darlaw. Right. I think we'll stick with the same team we had before. Because they weren't a bad team. They just didn't win. We'll give them another game. We'll give them another game. I just had a thought. That Ben Chapman we've signed, is that like FM21 Wonder Kid Ben Chapman? I know it's the weirdest thing to ask the question of, but is that FM26 Wonder Kid, FM22, 23 Wonder? It's not. It's not. Right. Some people go there and make me proud. Get goals. Everyone looks motivated. Dug out. Good stuff. Okay. We'll try it again. We'll go with our 5, 2, 3, 1. Has Swindon Stadium changed a lot since I started supporting? It has actually, Liam. So, where the Don Rogers is now used to be the Shrivenham Road end. And it was a 2-tier stand that was made entirely of wood. And it looked completely decrepit when I started going. Like, you can Google it, you'll see pictures of it. Looked like it was going to fall apart at any moment when I started going. They still used to they used to sell tickets when I was going just in the bottom half, not the top half. The top half was definitely condemned. In fact, before we get this, because I may as well just show you, let's so everyone can have the joy of this. Let's see if I can find a picture of this old decrepit piece of shit. Bear with. Because as usual, the interwebs has provided. So, yeah, this was the old Shrivenham Road stand at Swindon. This picture's from 1989. This is when I started going to watch Swindon. And you couldn't, it's the year after I first watched Swindon, and you weren't allowed to buy tickets in this top half because the whole thing was made of wood under here and it was just rotting away. It was just falling apart. And this got made all cedar in about 91, 92, and they pulled it down and turned it into the Don. But you can just kind of, let's zoom that one in. You can just kind of get a sense of just how grim this stand was. The old town end as well still looks roughly the same now, but it was a grim experience. The whole thing was a grim experience. But yeah, there's sort of a bit of an overview. This is a picture from inside the Don. From back in the day. So this was 1994. They used to let press photographers exclusively use this top half. And even then they were probably risking their lives being up there. But yeah, it was such a yeah. I was not a big fan, but that's the biggest change. Also, the Stratton Bank used to be one that they would actually put people in, which was nice. I've just realised I've started the game going again. You guys can't see it. There we go. But yeah, the stadium has changed just a little bit since I started going. It's much less of a toilet now, is what I'll say. I still by no means the worst of the old grounds I've been. I went when I was a kid. I went to Home Park in Plymouth. They've done a lot of work on Home Park now. Like since I was there, it was like 93, 94. I went down. And I distinctly remember in the away end there wasn't a toilet. You had to go around the back of the stand and use the guttering. It was just the grimmest thing I think I've ever experienced. Like they're people who aren't old enough to experience like late 80s, early 90s football. Like you guys don't know you're born. You ask your parents. We witnessed some horrors. Oh, Elijah Briscoe off everything. Oh my words. Yeah, the older stadiums were grim. They were grim, so bad. genuinely, so like some of them look like crime scenes. Like there was a time, like the old manor that Oxford used to play in was somehow one of the nicer grounds in football that I went to for away games, purely because it had a bit of character and you didn't feel like you were in some sort of Soviet bloc gulag. But yeah, I'm old enough to remember all terrace stadiums, and I'm old enough to remember. Oh, that was nearly a goal. There used to be a phenomenon, and again, Liam, this might be an ask your dad situation because I'm sure your dad's probably old enough to remember this. There used to be a phenomenon where if the game was like packed, if it was sold out on the terraces, people would just like piss in your pocket. It was horrendous. It was full barnyard stuff. Like in many ways, and I mean this in the least controversial way possible. Um, Things like Hillsborough and Bradford and Hazel were the best thing to happen to English football, purely in terms of the aftermath and how it just improved games. Like, looking back, I don't understand why people took their kids to games in the 80s, because I wouldn't have taken my kids to a ground like that. It was horrendous. The away stadium was bad. They had cameras in the women's toilet a few years ago. They did. That's a fun fact. At the county ground at Swindon, they found that there were security cameras in the women's toilets pointing down onto the cubicles. There were some in the home end as well. For a little while in the women's toilets pointing down. They got taken care of very quickly. I meant to do a substitution. That's fine. They got taken care of much more quickly than the ones in the away end did. Let's put it that way. I still remember hearing the smash. Frimpong to Briscoe. Briscoe forward for Chapman. Chapman through for Flaherty. He's through. Cut it back. Or score. Stan Flaherty's just scored for us. It's our first goal of the stream. We've got a goal. We've got our first goal for Hemel. And Stan Flaherty, the man that I signed thinking he was a wonder kid, is proving wonder kiddy, and he has scored a goal. I thought he should have cut it back. I don't care that he didn't because he scored. And that is 1-0 to the Reds. And we get to feel like we know what we're doing for a little while. Yeah, Liam, that's entirely fair, mate. The toilets in the Arkles are grim. They're very much like the Arkles. I think is the closest you'll ever see to like a proper old school stand in football these days. It's true, Kit. Players don't cut the ball back. It's one of those things actually in 26 that does drive me a little bit potty. Is that nobody seems to be aware that they can cut the ball back to a teammate. It's wild. I've had so many like great opportunities where we've been through on goal and a cutback would have finished it, and they've just had a shot and put it into the corner flag. It just doesn't make any sense. I want Elijah Briscoe to score, but Flaherty's through again. Also, these shirts. We've got to have a talk quickly about the Darlington shirts. Why are the numbers in white when the back of the shirt's white? How is that legal? How is that okay? Someone have a word with Darlington. Corden has put a big ball over the top. That's a good header by Bateson. Flaherty, he's going on a run again. He's got a new lease of life. Chapman's trying to take it down the outside. It's failed. And now we're on the back foot again. And, well, we're still 1-0 up. I've still got a bunch of subs in the options, but Bateson's going to have to come off because he's tired. That's going to be a key thing for us. Let's replace some tired legs. So, Bateson can come off there for Thomas. I think we'll take off a Coley for Flanagan just because he is the least well performing of. That's good English. The worst of the defensive midfielders. They're both tired. And what else have I got on the bench? I've got a right wing back, I've got a right winger, and I've got a striker who can also play left wing. We'll hold that back. We'll hold that sub back for a second. That's That's going to be the one. Right, a second goal. I'd feel really good about this game being done. I think it hasn't felt like Darlington have been particularly threatening. Although now I've said that, we're going to concede a goal from this highlight. Corner over the top, headed away by Thomas. Flaherty's on the ball again. Through ball for Briscoe. He's in. And Elijah Briscoe gets his first goal for the club. He does a lovely huntsman celebration. And that pace, like the second this ball falls for Flaherty, he puts that ball over the top. Briscoe starts chasing it. There was no chance anyone else was going to get to that ball. He's dinged it over Chibwesi. And 2-0. This one, in the bag, in the pocket, out of sight. Happy days are here again. And Scott is taking a corner. Let's get this clear. Or have Braverman save it. Why not? Why would we not do that? What's the worst and best ground in your lifetime that I've been to? Oh, that's a really subjective question. I think the best ground I've ever been to in terms of how impressive it is was the old Camp Nou. But actually the Olympic Stadium in Barcelona is not unimpressive for its time. Oh, Briscoe almost had another one then. I would say Supermarine's up there in terms of like a stadium that felt nice. I really enjoyed the atmosphere at QPR. I think QPR has a really good atmosphere at Loftus Road. I've been to both Wembleys. They were both pretty good. I would say Twickenham, but I really hate that those stands are almost vertical. Ellen Road's good. It's a really tough question. Really tough question. I think I'm going to cheat and say Camp Nou is the best. Yeah, up the Tudors. We've got a 2-0. Yeah, I'll put Camp Nou as my number one. I think it's the best I've been to, just because it's Camp Nou and it's incredible. And I'd love to go back and see the new one. I think the worst stadium I've ever been to. Worst stadium I've ever been to as a fan would either be Crawley or Hartlepool. And Hartlepool's a lovely club. They're really nice people, but that stadium just feels ramshackle. And Crawley is the coldest place on earth. Actually, Colchester's ground is colder than Crawley's, but at least it looks nice. But I'll throw in a best and worst to play at, because I think that's also that's a valid category in its own. The worst to play at, the worst I've ever played at, would either be Chorley or would be Gig Lane in Bury. Chorley is miserable and uneven and only has 3 stands, and it's one of the side stands missing, so the wind whips through that ground. And Gig Lane had no working showers, or at least no working hot water. That was unpleasant. And the best one to play at for me was... This is a throwback. Highbury. The Arsenal one, not the Fleetwood one. That was... Oh, Gateshead, yeah. Gateshead's odd because it's an athletic stadium and it's huge, but they'll never fill it. And yet, for some reason, they weren't allowed to get promoted into the league because their ground wasn't ready. But it's a 10,000 seater ground, like, it's wild. But yeah, like, so that's my best and worst for visiting and for playing. But Highbury was amazing to play. I love playing at Highbury. Would do it again, quite frankly. I mean, I can't now because it's a housing estate. So there's that. But you know what I mean. Right. So we've got some points on the board. That's a start. Yeah, somehow I've never been to Gateshead's ground, and I have spent 2 or 3 years of my life living in the northeast, and I love a ground hop. But for some reason, I never went to Gateshead's ground. But actually, to be fair, I also managed to live in the northeast for 2 years and never go to the Riverside or St James's Park. So make of that what you will. I went to Hartlepool, went to Sunderland, went to York, went to South Shields, went to a lot of grounds where the clubs are called something Miners Welfare, but yeah, never St James's or the Riverside. To be fair though, in my defence, I didn't go to the Riverside even though I was living in Middlesbrough, purely because it's an absolute bastard to get to. Like, you have to drive to it. It's so badly placed in Middlesbrough that you have to drive to it. You can't walk to it from the town centre. And where I was living in Middlesbrough was probably, like, if there had been paths and things to get there, it would have been a 10-15 minute walk to the ground. But there's no path. Like, it's next to a bypass that there's no bridge or anything crossing it. So I physically couldn't get to the ground. You had to drive, and I hated it. I hated it. I would have gone had I been able to access the ground, but just really, really poor decision making, which is a thing that I don't feel is fair to say often about Steve Gibson, because I think he's quite a good owner in a lot of respects. But yeah, there you go. There's more stories, more law dropping. Ben Chapman's lacking. How is Ben Chapman still lacking match sharpness? You've played twice, and you've played well. I think you need to stop whining. We're going to play Billericay. Billericay. Have I ever been to Luton? I might have been to Luton. I've been to the town of Luton. Have I been to Kenny Road? I must have been to Kenny Road at some point. I'm sure I must have been. But I don't remember it making a big enough impression on me to rate it one way or another, which is probably problematic. Yeah, it says his sharpness is 2 arrows up, so I don't understand why he's not match fit. Who knows? Yeah, don't know if I ever went. If I couldn't tell you for sure if I've been to it or not. I know I went to. I got dragged to Craven Cottage once. Years ago when I was about 13 or so. I got dragged to Craven Cottage to watch Fulham. This was when they were still in the 4th division. Franklin Domi with a goal, beautiful, 1-0 up against the Rickay. Yeah, when I was 13, I got dragged to watch Fulham at Craven Cottage in the 4th division. And the reasoning behind it was that my girlfriend at the time, her dad was a massive Fulham fan, and he was insistent that his daughter wasn't going to date anyone that didn't support Fulham, so he tried to convert me. And I just remember it being awful. Genuinely awful. Yeah, so, yeah, that was odd. That was odd. I know a lot of these players in this Billericay team. I know who a lot of these players are. That's worrying. Cahill's on a run though. He's on a tear. He's into a box. He had a shot. We got a corner, and Mansell tipped the ball away. It was a great run from Domi. I'm liking Franklin Domi. I think he's going to do a great job for us on that left-hand side. I think we're going to do a great job all season. Why is Reed just wearing a number? It's not like he's not got a shirt. They've just tattooed a number on his back. What's that about? I mean, it's just Billericay things, isn't it? It's Essex. He's probably got it vajazzled on him. Anyway, we're a goal up. So, the questions you have to ask at FM26: does K. Reed just have a number vajazzled on him and he's not wearing a shirt? 30 minutes played. We are well past 1 o'clock, which explains why things got worse. This is Terrell Pennant taking this. What a waste of a free kick. What an absolute waste of a free kick. You'd have floated that into the box normally. They've got a corner out of it, but... Katie, I am 40. That is my age. I'm not your uncle, though. That's odd. I say it's odd. Obviously, if you're, like, South Asian, it's not odd, I suppose. Or, like, Caribbean, I guess, is less odd. I should be, like, calling people uncle is weird. Like, I know it's very normal in, like, South Asian culture and whatnot. But, still. We're 1-0 up. It's nearly half time. 1-0 up, and it's nearly half time. Domi with a good flick away there, and well, we've held. We're on course for 2 wins back to back, and if we keep that up, 11th will be a distant memory for an expectation. Chapman and Frimpong are somehow not fit, despite the fact they keep playing. Kiss says, I did accidentally remove the kits for everyone in FM24, and we joked they were committed. Everyone tattooed their numbers on. That's fair enough. Stadium's big for the league we're in. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, let's we'll get this highlight though. We'll see how. Oh, Elijah Briscoe scores 2-0. Goals either side of half time. That's pretty magical. We'll take that. We'll take that. So, unless Billericay are on a ground share, which is entirely possible, their ground only holds 4,800 people, which is odd. Are they due to move stadium? No. That's really odd. They do know how to pass. We saw it. We've witnessed it. We've witnessed a pass across goal. Yeah, that I'd say for a 5,000-seater stadium, this model might be a touch big. We'll have a check though. It is possible in game they are going under or have gone under some renovation for their stadium, and they might have moved in with a neighbour. Like we might be playing at Gillingham or Southend or something. There's no way to see on this screen, is there? There's no way to see on this screen where you're playing anymore, which is really annoying. De Havilland goes forward though. Oh, Cahill's picked a pocket and got tackled immediately. He's on a run again. Cahill on a run again. Cahill with a shot. That's come off everyone. And Mansell has done a Hollywood. When I make subs, I'm going to check Billericay to see if they've moved ground. Because you are right to say that seems suspiciously large. About club profile. Yeah, allegedly that's 5,500 seats. Allegedly. Go figure. I guess, why can't I get out of this screen now? Am I just stuck here forever? Is that a thing that's going to happen? It's good job I was thinking about subs anyway. Chapman can come off for Aldridge. Let's do that. There we go. We got out of the screen somehow. I couldn't figure out what to do, but it's fine because we got back to the game. It does look a bit like Gillingham Stadium, but yeah, clearly they're still playing at the new lodge. So I guess we'll go with that. Shooter's going to come off as well because he's had a mare. Harry Thomas can come on, and we will start just rotating for fresh legs. In fact, we'll take Frimpong off as well while I'm thinking about it. Send on Flanagan. That should free up some tired legs. Domi should come off because he's booked and tired. And anyone else tiring a little bit too fast for my liking? Not yet. We've got one more sub left. I feel like I might take Briscoe off just because he's tiring out a touch. And we'll send in Isaac Westendorf because the second tab on match stats. Hang on, let me he's going out of tactics. There's no exit. Second tab on match stats should confirm. Match events should confirm it's at the new lodge. All right, we'll have a look between highlights. We'll see what it says. But yeah, it does look like Priestfield. It doesn't look at all like a 5,500 seater ground. That's out of play. Oh, we can't even do it between drawing highlights. Let's there we go. Match events, second tab. Yeah, there we go. We're playing at the new lodge, apparently. That is just what FM26 thinks a 5,500 seater stadium looks like. Right, I'm curious to see if Westendorf is any good. He could have been a huge waste of money because I was going to play Elijah anyway. But Orrin Aldridge, what a goal. Take a bow, son. Absolutely take a bow. Just O'Sullivan tips it off. He's got men in front of him, traffic ahead. Over the back of the head of Reed, curls it in between post and keeper. Absolute worldy stuff from O'Sullivan, our right back. This team is cooking. We're 3-0 up against Billericay, who I'd have said are probably one of the better teams in this league. We'll have a look at the preview after the game, which is an odd sentence construct, but go with it. See where they're predicted to finish in the league. If Reed has a shot from it. Is that Kyle Reed as well? Was that a former West Ham star Kyle Reed? No. It's Callum Reed. I've got a feeling I've seen him before. Former Barnsley star Callum Reed. Oh, this is the guy. I think, isn't Tate Ferdinand like our Ferdinand? Is he not Anton's kids? Katie, you're being odd. If we could be less odd, that would be nice. You've already had one time out today. Let's maybe not make it a second just because Simon's logged off. Cahill is on a run. Can we get to 4? Oh, Aldridge is there, back across, and that's utterly pointless highlight. I don't know why I said it was O'Sullivan that scored. It was Aldridge, wasn't it? Either way, there we go. There's Aldridge. Flanagan back to Mullins. This 5 at the back is actually it's Rio Ferdinand's son kit. Thank you. This 5 at the back is oddly working. I mean, not with stuff like that. I mean, that was scrappy. Aldridge could be in again. It's a great cross. Westendorf heads it over the bar. I think Aldridge should have had a pop first time, to be honest. I wouldn't even have, if that had been me in that position, I wouldn't even have crossed it. That keeper was miles off his line. I'd have gone full beans for the back post towards the stanchion, to be honest. Absolute full beans from distance. Rifled that home. But it's also 3-0, so I can have absolutely no complaints. I think I just saw we were up to 5th in the table as well. Did I say we were up to 5th in the table? We are up to 5th in the table. Let's have a quick check of the old preview. To be fair, Billericay are predicted to finish 21st. It may not have been quite as good a result as we thought, but it's still a 3-0. Stop inviting me to press conferences. I don't want to talk to any of you. I'm sure you're lovely. I mean, Omar Diaz working for the Barking and Dagenham Post. That feels like a oddly mismatched guy to have at the Barking and Dagenham Post, and B, the Barking and Dagenham Post sounds like one of those little free things that your 97-year-old neighbour shoves through your door. Liam, I'm going to trust your judgment because I'm not entirely sure why I'm being called Uncle and Papa. Someone's been spending too much time on Pornhub. Went down to 12th in predict. Did we? Did we go down to 12th? Those absolute savages. They've put us down to 12th in predicted. You savages. Absolute winders. We've got to play Fylde next, and Fylde are allegedly the best team in this league. So I think we're going to go and play Fylde. That's a good idea. How long's that game? We've got a week. That's a great time for me to take a small stretchy break. So let's holiday through, because in fact let's just check we've got no transfer business happening before I try and holiday through. We haven't. Good. I'm just going to do a casual quick, if it will let me eventually, calendar, thank you, holiday through to the next game. Just while I have a quick stretch. I'll be back in just a moment. There we go. We returned. We returned. Sorry, it was necessary. So, we are on match day. We are good. Hopefully I'm not going to find injuries have cropped up. I'm not. There is a really strong case for starting Orrin Aldridge after that game. Somehow Ben Chapman's lost what little match sharpness he already had, which I don't understand. I feel like Orrin Aldridge has to start after scoring that goal. It feels unfair not to let him start, so we'll let him have a run out. I think that's the one change we'll make for this particular match. That feels good. Also, whilst I've got a few people hanging around in both streams, which is nice to see, welcome. Do come and say hi. Everyone is friendly in both chats, so do come say hi to people. If you haven't seen it on the YouTube channel, earlier this morning I released my matchday vlog from Swindon Supermarine, which is the preamble to our brand new series on the channel. We are going hometown to hero, taking Swindon Supermarine from the Southern League Division 1 South to the, in theory, Champions League, I guess, is where we're going to end up. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's gone up on the channel today. It's had a nice response so far, so do go check that out if you haven't already. It is recommended viewing, which I need to reply to some comments on, but we'll do that after I've finished streaming, because otherwise that's weird. Yeah, Katie. I can't pretend you're not getting more strange and weird. Cannot pretend that's not a thing that's happening in the chat. What I can predict is that we are going to smash AFC Far. Everyone in this level plays 5 at the back. Is that Romain Sawyers playing for them as an attacking mid, as a cam? Are they playing Romain Sawyers as a cam in the National League North? Because that's absolutely mental. That's too mental even for Fylde. There are some players in this team I recognise. Bakare, I think. Is that Isaac Bakare? Ibrahim Bakare. He's been around a while. Bloody is Romain Sawyers playing in the National League North, formerly of West Brom, Brentford, Walsall, Stoke, Cardiff. This man has played in the Premier League, and somehow he's ended up at Fylde. Go figure. I don't recognise Luca Thomas, but he's been at Manchester City and Leeds. My word, let's not look at any more of their players. That feels like it's going to be painful looking at that. I can see why they're predicted to finish top just on reputation alone. I can see why they're predicted to be top. If I look at your team sheet and immediately know you've got a Premier League player in your squad, I am a little bit terrified. So, big performance needed from the boys today, it has to be said. If we get another wonder goal out of Aldridge, that'd be fantastic. That would be cracking stuff. So we've got a throw in. It is with Aldridge. He is going to do a scoring of the goals. That's his plan today. I mean, not from that, obviously. From a throw, it'd be weird. That was dangerous. That was a dangerous old throwy doodle. Bit of a wilding one, but we're holding our own against Fylde, who are supposed to be the best team in the league. Which is honestly all you can ask for. I mean, our wingers aren't necessarily having the best game of their lives, but we've also not had much of the possession. Like we can't be doing much in the final third at all, to be honest. We'll say we've been the better team here. I don't know if that's entirely true. And then we'll grab Domi, Flaherty and Cahill and just say that I'm not happy. And they look fired up. Good. Everyone else, just go get better if you can. That'd be lovely. Elijah Briscoe is hanging on my every word. Keep going. You've got the ability. Go make some stuff happen. Send in the boys. Frimpong's on the ball. He tried to pass it to the ref and megged him. Let's get... Just steal a goal on the break and then call it a day. Sit back, really. I mean, both teams are going to neutralise each other anyway, essentially, because of the 7 at the back systems we're both playing. But either way, I don't feel like we're out of this one yet. I feel like we're still in this game. We're going to take off Aldridge and send in Chapman on the right. Domi and Sullivan feels like it's going to become a standard change. Cahill's having a howler, so he can get replaced by Lucy Lawless. Pavey's going to go in for his first appearance. And then the last sub, I should take off Elijah Briscoe because he's not performing, but I can see Frimpong's going to collapse soon. So I may have to send in Flanagan. We'll hold back, because there could be goals in this as Briscoe plays a pass out for Domi. Subs haven't happened yet, obviously. Domi gets tackled, gets it back. Cahill on the ball. Through for Briscoe. Frimpong, Flaherty. If he can find Aldridge, we could have something on here. First touch to take it past the fullback. Cuts back. Frimpong, Flaherty, turns. Briscoe! Elijah Briscoe! What a goal! What a goal! How well worked was that? Flaherty turns. I think it's a little bit harsh here that Flaherty doesn't get the credit for the assist because Williams technically got his toe on it. But, we've zoomed back somehow. Some players in tracksuits were on the pitch. I don't know what was happening there at all. That was all a bit wild. Something's happened, but either way, we didn't get the message saying, "Oh, you can make us. Do you want to make your changes still?" I mean, I would have made them anyway, but it seems like we've got a goal ahead, and we get a chance to look at Pavey now. Lawless back heel through to Briscoe. That's cheeky. Briscoe with a dink at goal. It's not quite there, and actually, to be fair, that does make me feel a little bit better about the idea of taking Frimpong off, because Briscoe has now scored to up his rating. And it probably doesn't hurt to have that bit of stability at the back. But also, Bateson's tiring. Thomas out wide. That's gone to Mayor, to Merry. Forward for Mayer. He's come off the woodwork. And, okay, alrighty then. I am going to hold back that last sub. I'll make a judgment call with about 10 minutes to go as to who comes off, based on who looks tired / not good enough. Mullins is sort of looking tired and not good enough. If we could win this ball back in their half, we'd be laughing, because Briscoe, if we can get him on the ball with a high line like that, will absolutely do them. And Jordan Young has scored. And we're back on terms, but this is allegedly the best team in the league, and I don't think we've looked out of our depth. I don't think we've looked like we are struggling. Yes, we're at home, which is a huge advantage, but I don't think we've looked completely out of our depth in this game, and that's pretty much all I could ask for, to be fair, is just not get killed today. Shooter's having a terrible... We're going to take off Mullins. That feels like the play here. We'll take off Mullins. We'll send in Thomas. Hope that makes the difference for us in terms of keeping things going. We've got 700 people nearly at our ground. That's a wild attendance. Let's get a goal though. That would be great. Just a second goal. I'm not greedy. Just a cheeky second goal. Just a cheeky one. Just a highlight. No highlights. Final whistle. And that one ends 1-1 with allegedly the best team in the National League North. And apparently the media think we're the 12th best team in the National League North. I think the stats don't lie. That's what I'm saying. The stat book does not lie. I am very aware that Twitch is about to get an advert break come up. I'm going to have a quick look, see if I can trigger it now. It says I can't, but I'd be surprised if I couldn't. let's refresh that page. Right, I'm going to run a quick ad break just to save you guys getting an ad break in the middle of the next game, because I feel like it will trigger. So we'll run it now. And then while we're doing that, we'll carry on the YouTube towards the next game, which can only be a few days away, surely. It's only a couple of days away. Good. Perfectly timed ad break for the crowd on the Twitch. I did just tell it to trigger an ad break. Apparently you're in an ad break on Twitch. Do tell me if you're not, but apparently you've got 30 seconds remaining on your ad break, but I've got Twitch running on my TV so I can see chat, and I don't see the ad break, so go figure. And I've seen every other ad break it's thrown in at random. But to be fair, the ad breaks are they're proving quite useful, because I noticed we are getting paid for the adverts. Katie, that's a really odd question. Yeah, Kit. I know you've probably got at least one sub to something. Are you on what's it called? Turbo? You on Turbo? Right, apparently that's run an ad for some people. I don't know why, but at least that should have got it out of the way for the people who did see an ad. And then we can get into the next game, which would be nice. Double no ads. Beautiful. Yeah, I just figured out there's a button that lets me manually run ad breaks. It's automatically set to run ad breaks every hour, but I guess that snoozes it or something. So I can trigger an ad before we go into a match, and then hopefully that prevents people from getting the matches interrupted by adverts. It's sort of my thinking. Right, in terms of changes to this lineup, let's swap Domi for O'Sullivan, because O'Sullivan's been playing slightly better. I think Aldridge's ratings average is being propped up by having scored that goal, to be honest. I think everything else is just about fine. Everything else looks just about fine. I need to, while I remember, can I do it from this screen? I have to go to another screen to make that. I hate that I have to do this. Let's go. I'm just doing this while I remember. Don't hold it against me. I'm just doing this while I remember. I am going to take all of these players who are established backups. In fact, we'll start from there. All of these guys who are established backups, I'm just going to make them available for the under-18s, just so they're playing enough football to be match fit. That's probably strong. Yeah, snoozes and pushes back pre-roll, lads. Beautiful. Good. That was sort of what I expected it would do. Yeah, just because I don't want people to have ads running in the middle of a match. I think it's while I'm waffling between matches, having ads isn't really an issue, because who cares? But you come for the match action, don't you? So let's have that running. Ben Sheaf is playing for and Hallam. I mean, Hallam Hope, to be fair, this is kind of his level, because he was utter dog at Swindon. Ben Sheaf being down here is a bit of an odd one. Bit of an odd place to find him. But I guess we've had a season of FM in this save already, so that probably explains something, but it is really odd. I'm assuming that's the Ben Sheaf that was at Arsenal. We'll find out in a second, but I'm assuming that's the Ben Sheaf that played for Arsenal. And he definitely shouldn't be playing at this level, I would suggest. Radcliffe Borough's kits are really odd. I don't know if that's just because of how it's rendered in the match engine, but the V stripes are a bit weird. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. Let's just do a quick, how do they look in real life? just because I'm curious. Redcliffe Borough kit history. Okay, just very quickly, because I know Kit likes a kit. So, what are we saying on this, Kit? I don't hate that. It looks janky in the match engine, but I don't hate that kit. I think that's quite a nice kit. I think that could be one of the better kits I've seen in non-league. That could be wish listable. That third kit's quite tidy too. I'm not against that third kit. Where's their buy shirts button? No, it's not there. It's not there. Yeah, I'd say I would say if I have one criticism of the design, it's that the badge does stand out a little bit too much on that shirt. But like, I think if you made the white transparent, that might 22-23 black white. Let's have a look. Where are you? Where were you looking? In there. This one. The blue black. That's all right. That's a tidy kit. I'm not against that. I bet that's a bug. I bet you can't buy those anywhere now. I don't know how to find a buy from here. Let's ask. Just to see if it can be bought. I'm just curious to see if it can be bought, because that was nice enough. It's not as bad as Forest Green away. I mean, to be fair, that's true. Add that to my mental list of I'll give that a check to see if I can find that somewhere. There is the club shop. Let's have a look at the club shop. So the one you like is what, this white out one here, the 25-26. To be fair, that's all right. That's all right. Let's they shop all. Why would you not put your home kit on the main page? Why would that not be your first thought? Put your home kit on the main page. 55 fucking pounds. 55 fucking pounds. For a National League North kit. This is the reaction. It's the what? Anyway, but yes, kit. If you know the surprise shirt, guys, they can get hold of that. That lovely blue number. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. Whoever's designing Radcliffe's kits, they've got some game. They know what they're doing. Yeah, I think Swindon kits might be cheap. I think ours are 46. Jesus Christ, 55 quid. 55 quid. For a National League North shirt. I don't like to be the person that goes, oh, game's gone, but Jesus wept. Like, no. And then more no. We've got a penalty and I didn't put it on Braverman. It's fine, we're going to score. It's true. You have got the brand new Japan kit for that, which is it's a looker. For fuck's sake, we cannot score penalties. Uh, yeah, I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. Genuinely lost for words. I paid nothing for the Argentina one. Jesus. Hallam Hope's doing a thing, probably being hopeless. He's got brought down for a penalty. They'll score this. You watch. I was just thinking. I was just bear with me. Another side quest. We're going to call this a side quest within a side quest. Do bear with. I need to see a reaction here. I'm going to pop in and see Ank really quick. Really quick, because I think we need to get a live real-time Ank reaction. So we're going to have some double noise in the background that's not me. But bear with. Also, if you're not following Ank, do be following Ank, but we'll do a little side quest. We'll get some Ank noise in the background. Kit's apparently got Ank drinking, which is lovely.
The Manchester United transfer buzz really got me.
Let's see how Ank reacts to this shirt on stream, and then we'll pick up ours.
He was a very, very hard-working player, and he had this really lovely disposition off the pitch, where it's like, he just seems like this fun guy that's always dancing, that trains really well, that seems so positive.
Ank's also on a side quest.
And like, he's not performing very well on the pitch. He doesn't seem to be excited to be there off the pitch. And it's like nothing changed except for this massive...
For those who haven't been following Ank, she's currently managing Hereford on Twitch. That's Ankle Lee if you want to give her a follow. But she'll get there. She'll see the message eventually. She will look down once she gets to the end of this side quest, and then we'll go back from our side quest.
Part of the interest of clubs like Manchester United, and hopefully, you know, better teams than that, is what his current performances are like. So it's to his benefit to play as well for us as possible. Like, that's one of the things that I think João Pedro did extremely well. She
is a recent raider. She has raided us recently. Friend of the channel.
Beliba needs to do the same thing.
She will look down eventually.
I'll be very sad when we lose him, but...
She will. There we go.
Hey, come on a side quest for my stream. $55 for a National League North shirt had to share. Alright, let me look at this. 55 pounds, my bad, not dollars.
Ready?
I don't like this shirt. I don't like this shirt. I have strong opinions about this shirt. I actually have a lot of shirts in this color scheme. It's very Ukrainian. So I have like some Ukrainian national team shirts. I have a Shakhtar Donetsk shirt in this color scheme. Man, they need to check themselves. Radcliffe FC, what are you doing? I think it's the stress of those clubs and the big expectations that they have. Yeah. Especially when you consider, like, these guys are so young. They're so young, and they're under a lot of pressure to make it big and make the most of what is a limited time career. They're going from being nobodies with a dream and
okay, we've side quested with Ank. Apologies to you guys. Okay, we are back from the side quest. We'll come back from our side quest.
You look at who we've let go.
I'm sure Kit will tell me, since Kit's watching both streams, what the follow up to that was. But we can't obviously be with Hank all day. If we could, we'd be in a wild time. But there we go. That was the Ank live reaction to seeing a £55 Radcliffe Borough shirt, and Radcliffe Borough have just scored against us to punish us. But yeah, I had to share that with Ank, because Ank is a collector and I knew would have a strong reaction to that shirt at that price. And we were not disappointed. So Ank knows £55 is a lot of money. Ank knows well enough to know £55 is a lot of money for a shirt. Like, you think how many shirts she's bought from random English leagues. She definitely knows. She definitely knows that's a lot of money for a shirt. Doesn't need telling for sure. For those of you who are in the chat, by the way, I will put, I don't know if you at on here or not. Let's, if you're looking for someone to just give a quick follow to, I'm putting Ank's stuff in the chats, plural, just so anyone who is watching can go swing by and see Ank anytime you like. She is lovely. She is a good time. We are fans. We love her very much, and I encourage you to go play with her. We scored a goal. I didn't see it. I'm sure it was great. Cahill apparently scored a goal. Side quest within a side quest within a side quest now. But yeah, we did a lovely little side quest with Ank just to get that reaction. Half time is upon us near enough, so that's good. As we scored again. We've scored again. What on earth? Elijah Briscoe puts us ahead from behind, and frankly, beautiful work from O'Sullivan. Beautiful work from O'Sullivan. Chapman's having a mare, but O'Sullivan setting up Briscoe is exactly what we needed to see. And we're underway again. We are underway again. Ben Sheaf on the ball. I still haven't checked to see if that was Ben Sheaf. I will check once we get a back to between highlight screen in a second, but I'm still assuming that's Ben Sheaf. It is Ben Sheaf. Is it the same? Oh, no, it's not the Arsenal Ben Sheaf. It's the Southampton Ben Sheaf. He's less good. Yeah, I would say O'Sullivan deserves all the credit for that. I think putting him in at left back has been a wise move for today's game, I would say. And not just because of that. I think he has been slightly better. I think we have seen him be slightly better for us. Play for set pieces, absolutely. Because I'm sure we've got someone in the team who's mediocre at set pieces. Probably Flaherty. I would be surprised if Flaherty wasn't our guy for set pieces. He's not our guy for through balls, apparently. Sims gives it to Nelson. That better not be Reece Nelson or the game's broken. Yeah, goal and assist for Briscoe. I mean, I know he cost us a lot of money, but I said on this stream, I said on the previous stream as well, he's a good player. He's worth shelling out a little bit of cash for, I would suggest. Ball looks tiny in the match engine. Not the ball, like the guy called D Ball looks tiny in the match engine. They've just equalised. I couldn't get Oyatunde, or at least when I looked he wouldn't come. We are coming to the end of the transfer window though. We are coming towards the end of the transfer. We'll have a look. We'll see if he's moved on. Because if he hasn't moved on, that could be a pairing. Briscoe and Oyatunde up top. I say up top. I think I play Oyatunde on the right where Flaherty is, because he's not been covering himself in glory. Chapman's through, cuts it back. I want to see that again. I want to see that again. I'm not going to get to see that again, but I don't think that was offside. I think he was level. I think he was level when that ball was played. Either way, though, we're marching on. Flaherty's going to come off, by the way, because he's done bobbins in this game. Chapman's got a low rating. Briscoe's got another goal. Again, Chapman doesn't get the assist for that, which is going to mean his rating stays at a 5.9, which is really harsh because Chapman did all the work there. Like, Chapman's done all the work here. He's seen his man. He's looked up. He's put the cross over. And again, it's taken a really tiny deflection off of Park's heel. And he doesn't, like, Chapman's not going to get the assist credit for it. It's absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. To the point where I'm having to think about taking Chapman, who has an assist that we've seen in the match engine off. But he will continue to get worse, and that's the trouble. Mullins with a ball that's terrible over the top. Let's take Chapman off, just because 5.9. Once the match rating goes red, they very rarely come back from it. So we're gonna take the hit, take him off. We've got Aldridge on. He might get another wonder goal. You never know. Domi on in midfield as well. Yeah, I get annoyed at FIFA acting like refs are perfect. It drives me mad. But then FIFA's always been far too polished. I don't just like graphically, fine, make it polished. We're all for polished graphics, like, but it just tries to make football into something it's not. Like, football is a great game, but it's not a perfect game like FIFA tries to make it out to be. I like that it's imperfect. I say I like that it's imperfect. I don't know if you saw my video from Supermarine from yesterday, Kit, but that referee at Marine was absolutely fucking awful. Genuinely the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen. Like, I'm surprised that man could walk with all those brown envelopes in his pockets. Obviously, minor bias because I'm managing Marine or whatever, but that ref wants his bank account checked. He does, because I've never seen such blatantly one-sided refereeing in all my life. I really haven't. Didn't even know it was possible to be that one-sided as a referee. The third goal that Froome scored yesterday came on a counter-attack after a goalmouth scramble in their own goal, where the first Marine player to get in an attacking position with the ball just got straight up elbowed in the face 5 feet from the referee with him looking dead arse at it. And then when the ball kind of trickled out and another Marine player picked it up, a guy went in 2-footed through the back of his legs. Like, what? What kind of refereeing is that? What absolute... Like, if there were highlights on TV of that league, that referee would be working at Tesco this morning. Were they better than us? We were playing Radcliffe, weren't we? I think Radcliffe were predicted to finish 7th or 8th? 9th. So allegedly they're slightly better than us. We're up to 11th again now. Allegedly Radcliffe is slightly better than us, but I think that tells a different story because we just beat them 3-2 at their place. So, Lord Farquhar's just been offered a contract at Eastleigh. Interesting. To be fair, the referee probably does work at Tesco, but judging by the standard of his refereeing, probably is the weekend volunteer trolley wally. Like, I don't know if you're allowed to call them trolley wallies anymore. We all know what I mean. Anyone old enough to have lived in the UK over the last 20 years knows what a trolley wally is, and they're not renowned for their intellectual capabilities. I really hate the fixture list at this level. I really do. Like, we played Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, Monday, Saturday. Wild. It's true he can't be a weekend volunteer because his weekends are for poorly refereeing low tier matches. But I guess he probably doesn't do Saturday and Sunday because I cannot imagine there's a league secretary in the world who's that stupid. Like, I'm choosing to believe that he was like the Make-A-Wish kid. St Albans are predicted to finish below us. They're newly promoted, so this should be an interesting game. This should be a very interesting game. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Looks like Ank is currently getting beaten by Darlington. There we go. To be fair, with reffing Link that far, that he isn't far from Michael Oliver level. Yeah, I watched a thing the other day. With reffing like that, yeah. To be fair, I think this ref made Michael Oliver look like the Italian fella, Kalina. Like, I could show you the full match footage and you still wouldn't be able to believe how bad that referee was. He truly was awful. Anyway, I was watching a video on YouTube the other day. That was Mark Clattenburg talking to like 30 football fans. And I've always been like 50-50 on Mark Clattenburg as a ref. But man's got some really interesting thoughts. I think it's called Referee versus 30 Fans on YouTube. Well worth a watch. Like, he makes some really, really excellent points. Really excellent points. Like, it's just a really interesting chat. And he's very funny. He's a very funny bloke. I like Mark Clattenburg as a bloke because he does genuinely make me laugh when he tells stories about games. He's not... Is that Christopher Ray? Shut up. Oh, it's not the original Chris Ray. I was going to say, like, that guy's like 90. Yeah, he is now poorly refereeing Gladiators for the BBC. But he does have some great stories. The guy's a born storyteller. Like, it's rare I find a referee I truly respect on or off the field, but I would listen to a Mark Clattenburg podcast because he's got some good stories. Not quite as many good stories as the late, great and sorely missed Uriah Rennie, who is my favourite English referee of all time. If you're not old enough to remember Uriah Rennie, you've missed out because his place in the history books is... I do appreciate his law drops, but yeah, Uriah Rennie's place in the history books. Like, people always oh, Uriah Rennie was the first black referee in the Premier League. Like, that's all he should be known for. I remember watching him referee a Manchester United game in the late 90s, and because I have occasional bouts of hearing trouble. That was Shevchenko. I can lip read. It's like an autistic thing. Sometimes I get overloaded and my hearing turns off. So I've like sort of well, almost turns off, I guess is the best way to describe it. I just get overloaded, and that's the sense that gives up. So I taught myself to lip read when I was a kid. And I remember him refereeing Manchester United in the late 90s, and Roy Keane squaring up to Uriah Rennie, like proper in his face, eyeballs bulging, like he's about to smack the guy out. And Uriah Rennie just looks at him and goes, if you take one step closer, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. Because Uriah Rennie was not only a referee in the Premier League, he was in fact the world kickboxing champion and could have knocked Roy Keane out quite easily, quite comfortably, without breaking a sweat. So, genuinely, like the best ref. Just love it when you get a hard man against a ref that can genuinely take him on without backing down. He will be missed. Uriah Rennie was such a great ref. I remember, like, I think it was an Arsenal United game. There was a fight between a whole bunch of players, and he just marched into the middle of it and just chucked a bunch of the players that were fighting on the floor like they were toddlers. Outstanding stuff. Like the kind of ref we just need more of, with a character and like with genuinely like fearsome presence on a pitch. Cahill's having another nightmare. He must be the most hot and cold player I've managed in a long time. And it's not like their right backs pulling like an 8.5 rating. Like, there's no reason Cahill should be shut out the game quite like this. It doesn't make any sense at all. Let's take him off. Let's send in Lawless. Lucy Lawless is going in. O'Sullivan's having a bit of a rough game, so we'll replace both our wing-backs, in fact, because they're both having a bit of a mare. Thomas can get replaced by Shooter. The experiment of starting him hasn't really paid off. And Flaherty can come off for Pavey, and we're going to hope that that's enough to get us somewhere with this. As Aris picks up the ball and gives it to Griffiths. The rain pouring down here. This must be like a local derby, actually. Hemel and St Albans can't be that far apart. They can't be more than half an hour apart, I wouldn't think. They're both sort of just north of London. As that's a big ball over to Chris Ray, and he has let us off there, to be honest. Still 0-0, somehow, against a team who are worse than us at home, allegedly, according to the media, maybe. We do need some of that Elijah Briscoe magic. That's sort of what we're looking for, is Elijah Briscoe magic to get us in a good position here. As we've got a corner, it's kind of gone nowhere, and, well, this game is sort of going nowhere. Maybe what we'll try is we'll go positive. We'll try and just hit them. We'll try and just hit them, then we'll sit back again. Maybe that's the play here, is that we try and hit them with a lucky goal, and then we just go back to cautious and we sit back and just defend. Though I say that, they've got the ball now, so this could backfire horrendously, because Shevchenko's put a cross in. Ray's headed away. Crazy that we've got a Ray and a Shevchenko, and neither is the original one. Pavey coming on a run towards us. Akoli. I don't feel like I've said Akoli's name much. Shooter over the top, and naughty Norman Price has let that one go out for a goal kick, which is, I guess, a thing. This game's starting to feel like it's going to fizzle out to 0-0. We're going to get a couple of late highlights just so the game can make us feel like something happened. And it's going to be a 0-0. Although Shevchenko's on the ball again. Brought down for a penalty by Domi. And the trouble, as we've learned, is the opposition can always score and we always can't. And it was Alan Judge as well. Mike, how much money has St Albans got? How have they got a Shevchenko and Alan Judge playing for them. How have they pulled that off? Again, I'm boldly assuming this is the Alan Judge that played for Blackburn. He's the right age. It is the Alan Judge that played for Blackburn, and for Brentford, and for Ipswich. How on earth have St Albans, even at 37, found the money to bring Alan Judge down to this level? Wild. Genuinely wild. Well, that was embarrassing. Disappointed with the result. Close for blah 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 blah. Anyway, fun. Right, we've got to do a press conference at some stage apparently, which we will send an assistant to. I'm going to send the tea lady. She's our catering assistant. Right. Where are we at season-wise? 6 games in. I think we'll play the Altrincham game because they're second in the league, and then that's a good place to end the stream. Have a good night, Liam. Sleep well, and I'll speak to you via the chat, if not elsewhere, very very soon. And yeah, we will. Hopefully you'll enjoy our Supermarine video tomorrow. I think it's going to be a doozy. I say I think. I've watched it, obviously, because I edited it. I think it's a good video. But then I overestimate myself. So that's life. Yeah, I think we'll play the Altrincham game. And then we will call it a stream, I think, is the mission. We could find ourselves in a race here because I'm aware of the time, and it's either going to be a race for me to get raiding Ankh, or it's going to be a race for Ankh coming here, because I think we're the only 2 people on that know each other on, or that have crossed over on Football Manager on Twitch right now. So I sort of want to pass the baton on to Ankh to figure out where everyone goes after her. But we'll get our game out of the way first, and then we'll make it work from there. We'll make it work. There's some people doing some travelling by plane. Interesting. Not sure we're travelling by plane. I'd be surprised. Yeah, 1 day break for players, Liam. Yeah, I'm glad I put together a deep squad. I am glad I put together a deep squad because the replacements aren't awful. I say they're not awful, but I've also not given them any game time. So hopefully they will have done something to play somewhere over this weekend. Let's have a look at our team selection for this one. Bateson is tired, so he can get replaced by Shooter, and then we'll swap Shooter for Thomas. Let's see who our natural next play is here for the right side. Charlie Rowan. We'll have a look at Charlie Rowan, shall we? He could be good. Frimpong is knackered. We'll stick Watara in there. Akoli. Wants me to put Frimpong in there as well, but that's not going to happen. We'll put Domi into play there for now, and then we'll find ourselves another left back for the bench, which can be Raymond. What's his face? Flaherty. I feel like I need to punish Cahill a bit for how bad he was in that last game. So we'll stick Lucy Lawless in for a start. And actually we'll stick Westendorf up top just to give Briscoe a bit of a rest too. And then who's our best defenders here? So Sané. Sané, he's 5'8". Jesus Christ. 5'10". Has anyone hit puberty on our bench? 6'1". Mason Hunter at 6'1" can go in for Bateson. that's good. And let's have a look at the other strikers we've signed over the course of the summer. Jael Norville was the first striker we brought in, wasn't he? And he was not as good as we hoped. Let's stick Shia Lee Burnham or Shia LaBeouf on the bench for Briscoe, just while we're rotating, just to give Briscoe a bit of a break. That should work out. I'm just going to do a quick ad break check just to make sure we're not ad breaking between games. That's good. It's about to go to an advert, so I'll do another quick stretch break and then we'll come back just because I don't want it to run an ad during the match. Okay, I think we got away with it. I think we got away with the advert happening for the people who are on Twitch that aren't on Turbo. So that will work out okay, and we can get into this game. I'm hoping Westendorf's as good as I hope he is. Oh, he's a target man. Oh, no. No. Shia LaBeouf's going to get the nod. I think Shia LaBeouf's a more likely goal scorer. In fact, now I'm thinking it through. Do you know what, we're gonna gamble. We're gonna put Shia LaBeouf on the bench, and then we're gonna stick Elijah Briscoe in. We're just gonna let him play. He's gonna have to only play about 60 minutes, if that, because he'll be knackered. But we're playing Altrincham. They're second in the league. I would rather, if I'm perfectly honest, I'd rather risk it to get an early goal than not have our best striker on the pitch. Had I thought that through, he wouldn't have played the last game, but we're going to have to double him up and hope for the best. They're playing exactly the same system as us, which is nice. But they don't have Lucy Lawless on the left wing. Frankly, if you don't have Zena, you're not trying. So that's like, I love these drone shots. They're really nice. But either way, we are playing in a different red and black. Oh, we're in red and black. Oh, what's going on? It's because Altrincham wear red. I don't like that Altrincham are clearly wearing red and black, and we're clearly wearing red and black, but it says they're wearing yellow and black up here. I don't like that. It really, really winds me up. But it is what it is. FM26 things. Heyo! It's on the shirt. Oh, I shouldn't make jokes at corners. Every time I crack jokes at corners, we get scored against. And yeah, yes, Kit. Bugger is the correct response to that. Right, we're going to get back in this game. We've done a comeback before. We'll do a comeback again. That's the plan. Let's do a comeback. 4 minutes on the clock. We are on key highlights, not dynamic as well, which is wild. We could be about to get absolutely slayed. Briscoe with a tackle though to Flaherty. Flaherty gets murdered. Gale has a shot. Referees having a nightmare because there should have been at least one foul in amongst that. Like, you're telling me that Flaherty wasn't just pushed over then? You're telling me Reed didn't just push Flaherty over? That's the ref's position. Because that, to me, looks like he ran it in from behind and shoved him face first into the floor. How is that not a yellow card? Like, we're 2-0 down, there's less than 5 minutes on the clock. How? It doesn't make sense, Captain. Doesn't make sense. I know I've made some changes. I know I've made some changes to the team. But 2-0 down. Like, all these players have played for us, bar Rowan. All of these players have played for us this season. This seems like a harsh scoreline on us. Aldridge and Shooter are having absolute nightmares now. And it's not like it's not like we've replaced the entire team. We've not rotated the entire squad. Because some of these players played on Saturday, it doesn't make any sense. But it does tell me that at least the AI is better in FM26 at rotating players, because they should be exhausted. Like, on FM24, these guys would be dead. And yet, apparently, Flaherty did just fall. Like, he just fell over. Apparently, that's what we're being told. Right, we're going to get these guys in the dressing room. We are going to have a good old scream at them. I was really confused then, because that said, just before half time, it said Braverman was playing at left back, which would explain the scoreline. Must be to say you're doing well, keep working hard until full time. Are you having a bubble? What was that? Get your acts together, start playing football, and make no mistake about it, Orrin Aldridge, I'm quite angry. Oh, you're unsure. Oh, poor baby, poor Diddums. Diddums, did you get told off? Did you get told off for being rubbish? I'm sorry. Maybe don't be rubbish. Exactly, that's a water bottle moment, if ever there was one. Hopefully he'll get the message, he'll grow up, he'll start playing like a footballer. That ball's gone out wide to Aldridge, he's picked it up, makes something happen. Good little through ball on the left foot. Briscoe's been forced to come wide, and he's been called offside. And they've got a freak, and he's shit himself. Kurgan shit himself just before taking the free kick. Had to shake it out of his shorts leg. What's this defending? How did Gale get through that gap? And why is Lucy Lawless in centre mid? What are we doing? Can we get some consistency? Briscoe, Flaherty, over the top, looking for O'Sullivan. He's in a good position. Can he get a crossover? Finds Domi. It's gone off the woodwork. Flaherty's been murdered again by Reed in the box, and we've got nothing. I wish I could threaten them with the man, the myth, the legend, but I don't currently have Kyle Lafferty in our squad. Otherwise, he'd be on the pitch for this game. It's... Come on. Don't concede here. Jesus Christ, it's skimmed the crossbar. We've been terrible. We've been thoroughly awful in this game. Like, they've got 2 goals ahead after 5 minutes and just gone home mentally. They just sat on this. Right. Defensive changes. Hunter's on. Flanagan is on. Aldridge is coming off for Chapman. Ouattara needs to come off, but I've got no more defensive midfielders, so we'll have to get over it. Flaherty's coming off for Pavey. Lucy Lawless is having an awful game, but I'm going to try Shia LaBeouf up top, because Briscoe's tired and not shown up. Let's see if this works out, or if we can at least get a goal or something. Anything at all. A highlight. A shot on goal. Anything? No? Not gonna... Alright. Alright, we'll do a tactics then. Right, Pavey, you are gonna come inside, my son. In possession. None of this inverted winger shit. You are gonna be a second striker. That's going to be your plan. You're going to start tracking on the wings as well, purely because apparently our defenders can't be arsed. That's our plan to get a goal there. Lucy Lawless is better as a winger, I would imagine, because left-footed, yep. Oh, Watara's so bad. He was a mistake. Watara was a mistake. I don't think we'll be seeing him again. He's just not put the effort in. Like, you'd think you've been given your first chance to play all season. You'd think you'd put the work in. Like, you'd think you want to make a claim for a shirt and he hasn't done it. Let's try that. Let's change our style. We're going to go direct counter-attack. On attacking. Confirm the changes. Let's get a goal. Just a goal. Just a highlight. Just anything. Just anything that feels like you're trying would be nice. There's no way Altrincham have been so good that we haven't seen a highlight in 40 minutes of play. It's not possible. But there we go. We've lost to Altrincham. We are going to go do unraid thing. We're not going to do a press conference. We'll do a little wrap up for those who are watching the VOD. We are currently sitting in 11th after 7 games in the National League North, which is about where we were predicted to finish. So we're not pulling up any trees. But hopefully this next run of games, there is a break in there between Leamington and Morecambe of 11 days, so it'll feel like a holiday for the players, but then they're back to the every other day thing again for stupid National League North reasons. Like Saturday, Tuesday, almost week and a half break to a Saturday, then a Tuesday, and then for some reason in October we just play on Saturdays. Make it make sense. I don't know. Right. Anyway, let's see who we are going to go and say hello to. Ank's still up, so that's a thing. Who else is still playing? Is it just make sure we're being fair? I think we're going to go and see Ank. I think Ank is the way forward. Let's go surprise her with a hello. Thank you for being here, guys. We will see you very soon. And let's go see how Hereford are getting on. That's the plan. We'll go see how Hereford are getting on. We'll get our raid underway, ready to go. Good times. Just make all the dreams come true. Thank you for watching Twitch. See you soon. Thank you, YouTube. That's what's next. We're launching the raid.